can't buy. It resides between my eyes. Walked through the fire, came out better on the other side. See, life's like a beach if you find the sand. And right now, I feel like 100 grand.
You are listening to Inspired Insider with your host, Dr. Jeremy Wise.
Dr. Jeremy Weiss here, founder of InspiredInsider.com, where I talk with inspirational entrepreneurs like the founders of P90X, Atari, and many more, and how they overcome big challenges in life and business. Our sponsor today is Rise25.com, which I co-founded with my business partner, John Corcoran. Rise25 hosts in-person VIP events and masterminds for top entrepreneurs all over the country. We hosted events this past year in Austin, Chicago, Santa Barbara, San Diego, New York, Sonoma, Vegas, more. I know we were there, Cary and Alaey in Vegas at the same time, but we didn't see each other, unfortunately. If you see the value of immersing yourself with other top entrepreneurs to connect and collaborate to get your business to the next level, go to rise25.com, contact us, find out where our next event is going to be. And today I'm very excited. We have the co-founders of Safe Sleeve, Cary Subel and Alaey Kumar, who are both industrial engineers from Cal Poly. Safe Sleeve is a manufacturer of radiation blocking laptop and phone cases and accessories. Their distribution includes major retailers in the U.S. on Amazon, Walmart.com, Jet.com, along with Safe Sleeve's website, and distributors in Europe, Australia, and Singapore. Cary and Alaey, thanks for joining me.
Thanks for having us.
What's been the lowest moment in the business? And then on the flip side, what's been the proudest moment or milestone?
So, lowest moment. The first thing that came to mind is not one moment, but the multiple sleepless nights for things like, and I'm not talking about sitting there, coding or setting up an ad campaign. I'm talking about, using your customers' money or using a loan from family and friends to place an order of an inventory order, and knowing that it's with a new factory, and ultimately you're depending on, you're just trusting that they're going to get you the goods because you pay for it all up front before you have anything in hand. So that's more of a stressful side of it. Low moment, I'd say for me, just kind of spiritually, philosophically as an entrepreneur, I think everyone's going to face that moment of like, am I in the right place? Should I keep going down this path and full steam ahead, or should I go get a job? Should I suck it up, even though that's not what I wanted to do? I never envisioned myself going to work for someone else. Should I?
You're like, I could work 35 hours, have weekends off, paid vacation, or I could work 100 hours or more and not get paid vacation, not get paid sometimes.
Yep.
I mean, exactly. You could tell I've never thought about this before, but yeah.
Any entrepreneur has, right?
Yeah. So what do you tell yourself? Yeah, what do you tell yourself in that moment where you're like, oh my God, just the journey may be easier, not more fruitful, but maybe easier on the flip side. What do you tell yourself?
I try to flip how I frame it. I try to reframe it like 180 degrees and basically think of the downside of taking that other path. The downside of where am I going to be in 10 years if I do go away from my dream and I choose to, do a U-turn and go the other way. And that the fear of, being 10 years down the line and saying like, I never went for it is what just drives me to keep pushing full steam ahead and, just trust my gut and keep going with it. I'd rather live, maybe not the successful life that I envision or the, whatever it is that I end up envisioning, but I'd rather live the life of trying to achieve that than not trying at all.
Totally. What about on the flip side? And then, Alaey, we'll get to you. What about on the proudest moment or milestone that you remember that you hit that you were ecstatic about?
It's probably when we hit our first kind of, our first day on when I'm watching sales through Shopify and through Amazon, and we do a new marketing campaign, we launch a new product. And okay, so specifically when we launched our detachable cases, and again, sleepless nights went into, we wanted to do this thing right from the get-go and apply everything we've learned from every other product and, hit the detachable and hit it hard. And the day we launched, we probably exceeded our previous high for sales in a day by 3 times.
Huh.
And that was counting the previous Black Friday and Cyber Monday, which is always going to be our biggest day. That's probably the first thing that comes to mind. And then it's honestly just every day. I don't want to sound too corny, but it's every day that I can come to the office and Alaey and I are working side by side. We worked, remotely with each other when he was working a full-time job. And now we can come to our office and our warehouse, and we have all of our product in our warehouse, and we're working side by side, and we have some awesome help. And so it's really every day I come to the office and realize that.
As you continue to grow, what do you think your next hire will be?
We actually just talked about this today.
Yeah, probably something design on the creative side. So
I'm surprised to hear that.
Hire,
Why?
what's up?
I'm surprised to hear that, actually.
Well, so our most recent hire has been knocking it out of the park in terms of operations. Everything operations related, that's what she loves, and she does it super well. And that was always our first hire would have been that, and it was. Now that we have that in place, I think the next one would be the creative side.
And the reason why is, as Cary was mentioning, so we, again, bootstrap, smaller companies, you're going to outsource a lot of work. And when you do that, sometimes you hit home runs, sometimes it's not so great. And then you spend a lot of time finding, for one project, someone might work well, but the next time you have a next project, you might not even find the same person.
They may not be available anymore, so you have to find someone
Exactly.
else.
So for us, it's, we always have an idea and vision of what we want. We just need someone to create it. But now bringing that resource in-house where it's like we could just throw out ideas and keep pumping them out, it's going to allow us to move a lot faster.
Yeah. So you guys are the idea people, and you kind of hand it off to that person.
Exactly. I think part of that is we're kind of a sucker. I know myself at least, but I think I speak for Alaey too. We're a sucker for the aesthetics, and so something you don't think of it necessarily, but this direct-to-customer retail packaging that we design.
Yeah.
Every little subtle feature, we wanted the unboxing experience to be an impactful experience that matches the quality of our products.
Yeah.
So something like that is a project. And,
so kind of meshing the engineering with the design, get someone in there to be more hands-on with the design. I would just throw it in a poly bag, here, you guys have this nice case.
Right, and that's kind of what, going back to the very beginning, and we're thinking about, Safe Sleeve and what we wanted to create. That was very much a part of it. We wanted a product that was absolutely superior when it came to the protection functionality.
Right.
But it also came with additional features, additional capabilities that these other products didn't offer, and then it also had a aesthetic feel to it, packaging, lifestyle, the whole package.
Yeah, totally. So Alaey,
sorry, that's because we do digital marketing, you constantly need new graphics and images, and you're running different ads and setting up new pages and making changes to the website. So there's a lot of design involved there.
Totally. Alaey, what about you? Low point and then proud moment.
Low point, I would say it was probably during one of the two crowdsourcing campaigns where Cary was mentioning we kind of squeaked by at the last minute. I was like, you put all this, because there's a lot of work up front, right? Do a whole lot of work up front, and then you hit go, and you just hope that everything kind of just fires and works. And you're still doing stuff as it's going, but then we made it through, and it was great. And then proudest moment would be probably this past year. Every business has a particular milestone, and we do this every year. We create at the beginning of the year, the end of the year, we create a plan for the next year, and this year's last year's milestone was a particularly, let's say, important one for me, and we exceeded that milestone last year. That was a moment for me where I was very proud of that.
And that was like a revenue number, right?
It was a revenue number.
Yeah. What are some things that people should look out for, challenges of having co-founders, right? Because some people run the company, some people have two co-founders. I see, like you were saying, there's an advantage, right? But then there's other challenges. The advantage, like you may be having a low moment, Cary, and then like you may be like, you know what, you may be at just pumping and having a lot of energy and kind of taking that person up, right? Kind of like a workout partner. What are some of the challenges people should look out for navigating with a co-founder? I figure I could ask that because you're both together, so.
I will say it's funny. It's actually something that I read this article way back when Cary and I were working remotely, and it talked about how your business partner is like your significant other.
Totally, yeah.
And I told Cary this, and we laughed about it. But it's very much true. It's even in a significant other, you want someone. There's going to be peaks and valleys, and the understanding is you pull them up when they're down, and they pull you up when you're down. And it's a yin yang thing, and I think that very much works for Cary and myself. But going as far as
like, what do you tend to disagree on?
What do we disagree on?
Yeah,
man, we've been doing this for so long, and I agree with Alaey 100%. And I actually knew that he was going to say that before he said it, which also speaks to our partnership. But I think we've gotten to the point where we just understand each other so well that like we might disagree on things, but
yeah.
If you already know how the other person's going to...
Well, that's what I mean. You may know ahead of time, I'm going to bring this up. Alaey's going to shut it down because he doesn't like blah, blah, blah. What do you know that you will disagree? I mean, you'll work through it, but what do you know you will actually not agree on something, and you'll have to kind of argue. You both will have to argue with each other, not in like a nasty way, but...
I mean, the one that I could think of, and this I don't know if this has really happened recently, but is 80-20 rule. The perfectionist will come out and say, one of us is like ready to hit go. Let's just move forward. Let's get it out there. We'll work out the kinks after it's launched. Just go. One of us will be like, well, hold on. Have we crossed our T's, dotted the I's? Have we checked everything we possibly can before we letting it go out the door? That conversation has gotten, I would even say, probably heated at
Is one of you more like, which one of you is more the perfectionist, and which one of you is more, let's just go?
So,
I'm going to let Cary answer.
Well, I consider myself a perfectionist, which is the funny part. But in our partnership, I don't know if this just means Alaey is like too much of a perfectionist or what, but it's more so, I'd say more so I'm more like ready, fire, aim.
Yeah.
Whereas Alaey is a little bit more calculated. But then again, there are examples where it's the opposite.
It's the opposite.
I think we just have our, if I could think of a specific example.
Your moment.
Can you think of any specific examples? Like detachable case, I think we're both on the same page. Let's just go for it.
I can think of, so you always try to hit a mark. So let's say it's, we release cases for Apple products, and Apple leaks information, or they do, or someone else does, about suspicions as far as what the next product's going to be. And there was a particular time, and I think it was during our Kickstarter campaign, where we were going to release. We were trying to hit the mark for a product that Apple was just about to release. Right? They announced it, but as far as specifications, it wasn't necessarily out yet. And we, I think I was more gung ho on the, hey, let's just go for it. It was like probably one of the few times where I was like, let's just go for it, order more, and just get it out there. And Cary was like, well, what if? Because it was a new supplier, I think, at the time too, and we didn't know if
we hadn't even seen a sample, I don't think, of a case.
So. But I mean, it's things like that. I think the reason why it works is, as Cary was mentioning, there's times where it flops. One of us will be more conservative, one of us will be more gung ho, right. And it works out well because typically the person that's more gung ho has been maybe more involved in whatever that project is, whatever that thing is, and the other person isn't. But the good thing is, because they haven't been as involved and they're more removed, they sometimes, the majority of the time, bring up good questions and good points where it's like, okay, you know what, if we actually, these are two things that we did overlook, but if we get that in now, then, you know what, we are ready for like an 80-20, we'll just push out and go for it.
Totally.
That's true. I think it comes down to like the fallacy of sunken costs, I think it's called, where basically you've already invested so much in it. So if it's your baby, it's your project. You know, for example, like if I'm working on something like a new packaging design, and Alaey's not involved in it at all, and then I say, hey, here it is, like we're gonna get them printed, and I just want to. I've been so in the weeds with this thing that I know it's perfect and I know it's ready, and then he looks and he's like, well, what about this, and that? And I think that goes both ways, to Alaey's point.
Right.
If you're the one that's in it, you're gonna you don't want to hear any feedback.
Yeah.
You feel like you've thought of everything, but that can be a good thing.
Totally. No, I asked that because it is like a marriage, and it's not necessarily always an easy road to navigate. You know, you have to talk about the decision making and everything like that. So, yeah, I appreciate you sharing some of the ways you navigate that. But I want to thank you guys both. This has been awesome. I want everyone to go and check out safesleevecases.com. Anywhere else we should point people online besides the website?
Just our social channels. You can follow us on Facebook at SafeSleeve and Instagram at SafeSleeve as well.
Cool. Check them out so you don't get radiated by your phones, your tablets, your laptops, and your kids don't either. And I appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
You know what I just thought of, Jeremy?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Go on.
We'll throw up a discount code, too, for anyone listening, and we'll make it RISE25 right behind you, and
Okay.
it'll be 25% off.
Yeah, so Rise25, 25% off, very generous of you. And put that, whoever's doing the show notes of this, put the Rise25 code on that page so people can grab it. So thanks, guys.
All right,
Thank you.
What I got, you can't buy. It resides between my eyes. Walked through the fire, came out better on the other side. See, life's like a beach if